Narcissists have a habit of putting the people in their lives into no-win situations. In reality, the entire relationship really is a no-win situation. But in this video, I'm going to go more into detail about the specific kinds of no-win situations that narcissists will create for you in day-to-day life. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. I remember many times in the narcissistic relationships that I've been in, feeling like, even if I wasn't in physical danger, feeling as though I was being cornered. And this is Lucy, she wants to be part of the show. And as though I was being beaten with a proverbial baseball bat or an emotional baseball bat, and there was nowhere to run, nothing I could do, no way to escape from this situation. There was no solution, no answer, no defense, nowhere to turn. So I'm going to go over some specific examples of what I'm talking about. And I think that this is something very, very common to narcissistic relationships. And if you're in one, I'm sure that you'll be able to relate to several of these examples. Narcissists will put you in no-win situations in which what they're demanding from you, what they're asking you for, is something that it's too late to do. For example, maybe you cooked them dinner, maybe you made them spaghetti, and now they're sitting down and eating it, and they don't think that there's enough oregano, or they don't think there's enough salt in the spaghetti, and they're mad at you for not magically knowing how much salt they would like in their spaghetti. And there's no solution to this because it's too late. You could get up and say, let me get you some salt. You know, you're trying to find a remedy, you're trying to fix the situation for them, but they're already angry at you for making the awful mistake, the horrible crime of not putting enough salt in the spaghetti to begin with. And there's no way you can come back later and say, well, here's some salt you can put on it now. Like, that's not good enough. It's too late. And now they've got you cornered and they are beating you with this proverbial emotional baseball bat. And there's no way for you to escape. There's no solution. You can't go back in time and put more salt in the spaghetti. And I won't go too far into this, but in reality, there's probably the perfect amount of salt. It probably has nothing to do with how much salt is in the spaghetti anyway. Another example of something that's too late would be if they come home and they notice that you left your shoes on the wrong side of the door. I think I use this example a lot of leaving your shoes on the wrong side of the door because it's a really simple, kind of silly example of the kinds of things that narcissists will get infuriated over. And often you have no memory of them telling you to leave your shoes on this or that side of the door, and you really can't understand why it matters to them so much. They can't explain it. But once you've left your shoes on the wrong side of the door, now they're furious with you for having such horrible judgment, not knowing that the other side is the better side to leave them on, obviously. And obviously you never listened to them because they've told you 1,000 times, even though you have no memory of any of that. But you've left your shoes on the wrong side of the door and now it's too late. There's nothing you can do to fix this. You can pick them up and put them on the other side of the door, but the crime has been committed and you're now going to be cornered into that corner with the emotional baseball bat, and there's no escape, there's no remedy, there's no amount of apologies you can offer, there's nothing you can do now. It's too late. And to get a little bit more into the spirit of what a true no-win situation feels like, some narcissists will get angry at you for things that you're physically unable to do. Maybe they like to go hiking, and you go hiking with them and they are just a lot more athletic than you. Maybe they have longer legs and more expensive shoes, and they just have a lot more practice and they're able to hike a lot faster than you, and you're doing the best that you can, but you can't quite keep up. A narcissist might take you hiking in this situation just because they know that they can go faster than you, just so that they can have an opportunity to criticize you and harass you and tell you how much you're holding them back and what a drag you are, and just sit there and corner you with that emotional baseball bat, and there's nothing you can do to defend yourself because you are physically unable to hike any faster. You can't keep up with them no matter how hard you try or how much you want to. And the no-win situation really comes into play here, because if you tell them you don't want to go hiking with them, now they're going to harass you and berate you and tell you that you're no fun, or you never want to do anything with them, or you don't care about the relationship, or whatever. They'll sit and bully you into going with them. And then when you go with them, you can't hike fast enough. You can't do it the way they want you to. So it's really a no-win situation. No matter what you do, you can't make them happy. And no matter what you do, you're going to get yelled at, criticized, and harassed and bullied. No-win situations can also be things that conflict with each other. Like maybe the narcissist depends on you financially and expects you to work full-time, or maybe work 2 jobs in order to support them. And if you don't, you'll never hear the end of it. You'll be bullied and harassed for not working enough. But now that you're working as much as you're supposed to, now maybe they complain that you're never home or you don't spend enough time with them. And these are conflicting instructions and 2 things that you're going to be harassed about no matter what you do. It's a no-win situation. And in that same vein, maybe they demand that you save money and manage money and budget money effectively. And maybe every time you spend money, they get annoyed with you or they criticize your decisions. And then at the same time, maybe they demand that you spend money on them, that you buy frivolous things for them, or that you just give them all the money that they could ever want, and it's fine if they spend it. Maybe they even criticize you for how much money you spent on something you got for them that they asked you for. Another type of a no-win situation would be one that pits you against your own values or against your better judgment. Maybe the narcissist had a birthday and your sister forgot to call whoever this narcissist is. And the narcissist is now demanding that you call your sister and tell your sister how thoughtless and selfish she is, and that you never want to talk to her again, or that you have some big argument with her, or that you hold her accountable, or whatever. And the narcissist is just absolutely infuriated that you won't call your sister and start a fight with her because she forgot to call the narcissist on his or her birthday. And in this kind of a situation, I'm sure the narcissist probably doesn't do anything for your sister's birthday, but maybe they do. Still, this example is one where in whatever this situation is, maybe your sister's not that close with the narcissist. Maybe it's not that big of a deal that she didn't call the narcissist, and you don't feel comfortable calling her out and starting an argument. You don't feel like what your sister did or didn't do was inappropriate, but the narcissist expects you to stand up for him or her or whatever. So now you're in this no-win situation where you're going to be bullied and harassed and criticized and told that you don't care about the relationship and you never listen and you don't have any consideration or whatever, and just harassed until you break your own values or go against your own judgment and call your sister and ruin your relationship with your sister. It's just a no-win situation. Another example that's kind of similar to this would be if the narcissist maybe is pressuring you into asking your boss, like let's say you have a really good job, and the narcissist expects you to ask your boss to hire the narcissist, to give a job to the narcissist, when you know that this specific type of work environment is not something that the narcissist would really be good working in, that your workplace wouldn't have a job that really suits the narcissist, but the narcissist is demanding that if you really cared about him or her, you'd go ask your boss to give the narcissist a job. Like, just a total violation of boundaries and putting you in a no-win situation where you're either going to make a jerk out of yourself at work by going to your boss and doing this incredibly tacky thing, or you're going to be bullied and harassed at home until you do. Another variation of this example would be if the narcissist in your life is maybe trying to sell something and they are expecting you to go to work and try to sell whatever crap they're selling to all of your coworkers. They expect you to harass all of your coworkers into supporting your narcissist's business. I'm going to share a personal story of something I experienced that was a no-win situation. I like to sing. And I think I'm a pretty good singer. I've sung pretty much my whole life, and it's just something I do. It's something I like to do. And there was a narcissist in my life that really clung on to this, and he built a kind of a makeshift studio and had me basically recording in this makeshift studio. And I really thought that this was just for fun, and I thought it was really sweet and thoughtful. And then it turned into something really awful. This narcissist started demanding that I sing what he wanted me to sing. And he would come up with songs that were just completely out of my range, songs that I didn't want to sing, songs I couldn't sing. It would be kind of like, and I mean, I don't mean to compare myself to Carrie Underwood, but I will. It would be kind of like if you went to Carrie Underwood and demanded that she start singing Guns N' Roses covers. I mean, it's like, what? So it was like that. It was that bad. And I just couldn't push back. It was like I didn't have a right to say no. The narcissist would just rage. He would be absolutely infuriated that I would try to say, like, I can't sing that song. It's not in my range. It's not my style. I don't know how to sing it. It doesn't sound right. And there was one song in particular, I tried to tell him I couldn't sing. It was out of my range. And then after months of harassment, I finally agreed, okay, I'll try it. And then there were a couple notes I couldn't hit. And then when I couldn't hit these notes, he just flew into a rage while he was driving. He slammed his fist on the dash of the car. He even grabbed me and kind of shook me by my collar. I mean, he absolutely went off onto the biggest tirade I think I'd ever seen him go on. I mean, veins popping out of his neck. He was screaming at me and saying that I misled him and that I'm not trying, and that I don't ever listen, and I don't ever do anything he wants, and then I'm not doing it on purpose, that I said I could sing it. I mean, it was a huge no-win situation, because I can't say, oh, I can't sing that song, and I can't try to sing it and not sing it. I mean, I couldn't sing it, and I couldn't say I couldn't sing it, and there was no way out of this situation where it was actually really frightening, but that was a long time ago. But that's one of the most extreme examples I think that I've personally experienced of a no-win situation. So why do they do this? Why do they torment us with things that we can't do anything about? Or why do they refuse solutions to the very thing they're complaining about? Well, you know, they'd like to complain. It's like they don't want a solution, and that's really not far from the truth. Narcissists don't want solutions to the things they're complaining about. But why does this happen? Well, first and most simply is narcissists, when they're feeling on edge, when they're feeling a little insecure, when they feel like they need to take out some angst and frustration on somebody else, they will just glance around and find anything. Oh, I don't like where those shoes are. Those shoes are supposed to be on the other side of the door. So they'll just latch on to anything they can see, no matter how nonsensical, no matter how silly, and they'll just rage over it. They'll just come and harass you and bully you and scream at you because your shoes are on the wrong side of the door, because they just made that up in their head, because they just wanted something to yell and scream and complain about. And when you try to make sense out of it and you try to understand, like, what are you talking about? You've never told me to put my shoes there, or why do you want me to put my shoes there? Well, now their ego's invested in it, because now they've already gotten upset. I mean, have you ever gotten angry or upset at somebody and then realized you were wrong? I mean, even for a normal person, it hurts to back up out of that and say, oh, oops, sorry, I was wrong. So for a narcissist, it's like 100 times harder to back out of that. They're not going to. They're going to double down. They're going to tell you something's wrong with you. You're the idiot. You're the one that doesn't understand or doesn't listen. So that's what's happening a lot of the time, is they're just picking something without thinking about it. And then once they've let off some steam and used you as a punching bag because you left your shoes in the wrong place, well, they gotta double down on it. They're never going to admit that it's completely stupid to sit and harass you and yell at you for something so dumb. They're never gonna admit that. They've just got to further explain why they're perfectly justified in throwing a tantrum over something like that doesn't matter. And they've got to convince you that you're the one with the problem. You're the one that's dense if you don't understand why it's such a big deal. Another reason that they put you in these no-win situations is because they believe that they can dictate reality. Narcissists live in a delusional fantasy world. They really don't understand objective reality, and they don't think that it should apply to them. Like the situation with my singing. There were notes I physically couldn't hit. I couldn't hit those notes. Well, the narcissist has the right to dictate reality. The narcissist's fantasies are real in the narcissist's mind. So if I'm not manifesting the narcissist's fantasy, it's not because I'm subject to the laws of physics. It's because I'm trying to make life difficult for the narcissist. It's because I'm being contrary. It's because I'm not cooperating with the narcissist's narrative because I'm just out to get him or her. Anything that annoys the narcissist or doesn't go right along with anything that they want or anything that they feel they can dictate or just manifest into reality is something they take as a direct personal insult. If you can't hike as fast as the narcissist, if you can't keep up physically, it's not because you just can't do it. It's because you are directly trying to personally insult and disrespect the narcissist, and they're going to take it that way. As nonsensical and unfair and irrational as that is, they really think that everything revolves around them, everything happens because of them or for them. So if you are physically unable to do something that they want you to do, it must just be a direct personal insult. Closely related to this is the fact that narcissists feel like they need to control everything minute to minute. They're in charge of reality. So when they look at your shoes on the wrong side of the door, maybe yesterday they wouldn't have cared what side of the door the shoes were on. Maybe they've never cared, but suddenly in this moment they care. And they have the right to control absolutely everything minute to minute in the present moment. And in the present moment, they see those shoes sitting there and they're really angry because they want the shoes to be over there. And now it's like this egregious sin that's been committed, even though it really doesn't make any sense. It goes back to their entitlement to control everything, including where you put your shoes 2 hours ago. And in addition to this, narcissists have mood swings. Sometimes they're in a good mood. And if they're in a good mood, it's because of where you put your shoes or how much salt you put in the spaghetti or how fast of a hiker you are. It's whatever you happen to be doing or whatever you're capable of doing. If they're in a good mood, that's your fault every bit as much as their bad mood. So when they're in a bad mood, they're in a bad mood for all the same reasons that they were in a good mood, because none of it really makes any sense. Narcissists cannot connect their present emotions to the actual source of those emotions, ever. They always have to blame all of their emotions, good or bad, on things that really aren't connected to them. So when they're in a bad mood, when they're feeling insecure, when they feel like their ego is threatened, or they're just angry about something that happened a couple hours ago, maybe they had a bad day at work, they're gonna project those emotions onto anything you do. It doesn't matter. That's why your shoes are on the wrong side of the door, even though it wouldn't have mattered yesterday. They're imagining that this awful mood, that these awful feelings they're feeling, it's because of those shoes. That's why I feel this way. So it's all your fault because you left your shoes there. And that's why there's no solution to this. That's why it's a no-win situation, because there's no way for you to remedy where your shoes are, where you put them 2 hours ago. But more importantly, there's no way for you to go back in time and undo whatever really happened that actually made the narcissist feel the way he or she feels right now. Because there's really no way for you to know why the narcissist is really upset. And because in their imagination, it's all your fault, even if in the back of their mind they know that it's not really your fault that you left your shoes sitting there, because how are you supposed to know what side of the door they suddenly decided you should be leaving your shoes on? Even if they know in the back of their mind that they're not being reasonable or fair and that it's not your fault where you put your shoes, there's still like this justification of like, okay, well, maybe that particular reason to yell at you doesn't really make sense, but you deserve to be yelled at anyway, because I feel awful right now. I feel insecure, I feel threatened, I feel on edge, I feel like someone's out to get me, or like people aren't listening to me. I feel like I'm losing control. And even if it's not because of the shoes, it's because of something you did. You did something to make me feel this way, so you deserve to be yelled at, even if I'm yelling at you about something right now that you can't do anything about. I'm sure that you really do deserve it somehow. So like I said, narcissists don't really want solutions. The narcissist that's yelling at you about where you put your shoes doesn't want you to move your shoes. They want you to carry their emotional problems for them. They want you to be a human punching bag for them, an emotional punching bag for them. They want you to solve their emotional problems and to carry all of their pain and to carry the blame for everything that they've ever done or every feeling they've ever had. There's really nothing you can do to fix this. There's nothing you can do to make them feel better without sacrificing yourself. So when they're yelling and screaming at you because you don't hike fast enough, or you parked your car in the wrong place, even though that was the only place you could park it, or you won't yell at your sister and destroy your relationship, just know that that's not really what they want anyway. Nothing that they're asking you for or demanding or criticizing you for is really what they want. And as much as you try to appease them and do what they want, you'll find that there's no satisfying them, and that the more you do what they want or try to do what they want, the more time you're really just wasting, just throwing down a black void. Because the narcissist is not interested in your effort, and the narcissist is not interested in whatever it is they're screaming about. They're really just letting off steam. They're projecting. They're trying to find a way to blame you for the way that they feel. So there's really no reason for you to try to add salt to the spaghetti, to try to figure out what side of the door you should put your shoes on, to try to sing that song that they are so infuriated at you for not being able to sing, or to try to make a jerk out of yourself at work by trying to sell their crap to your coworkers, or trying to convince your boss to hire the narcissist. You don't need to worry about any of these things. You can stop trying to appease the narcissist, because you never will. The best thing you can do, short of leaving and getting out of that situation, is really just to let the narcissist vent. You can't make them happy. You can't satisfy them with just doing what they want. And I know these no-win situations are ugly because they're demanding you do something that you cannot do, but you know what? Deep down, they know that they're demanding something of you that you can't do. They know that there's no way out of this, and that they've cornered you with an emotional baseball bat. There's no way out for you. There's nothing but helplessness and fear, and really no way to escape. And they know that, because that's where they want you. They want you in that corner with no way out. They need someone to beat with an emotional baseball bat. They need a human punching bag, and that is all they really wanted out of you. It has nothing to do with the things that they're actually complaining about. And I hope that that could help a little bit, so that you can stop putting so much effort into trying to give them what they're asking for, because what they're asking for is never what they really want. What they really want is just to punish you for their emotional problems, and that's really a debt that no one can ever pay. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.